I did what most teenagers do, and if they're not happy or they're feeling sad or whatever, they run to drugs and alcohol. They run to earthly substances that they think are going to please them, and they do. They make you feel good for a couple hours, and then you wake up and you're still as sad as you were before. It's just a coping mechanism for a lot of people, and it's very, very common. But I use that as my escape. I would wait for the weekends to come so I could get completely just drunk or high and just forget about my sadness for a couple hours, and I would just be so happy, you know. But then of course that never fixes anything. And I also ran to guys. Like, I jumped into relationships that weren't good for me. I chased a guy for a long time that was never going to give me the satisfaction that I was looking for, but that's what I did. I didn't know what else to do at that age, and nobody was giving me answers. I had no idea what to do besides that. That was the only life that I knew. And then a couple months into junior year, my best friend had started going to church and going to this youth group that I was just like, okay, like, you can go to that, but I'm not going with you. Like, I kind of looked at her weird for going there because I didn't understand it. I was like, you're gonna turn into like a little goody two-shoes church girl, and I would always beg her to come party with me and drink with me on the weekends, and she would always deny it, and I was just like, I never understood why she didn't want to do the things I was doing. And so that kind of like made me curious as to what this place was doing to her, because I was like, how can she say no to something that's so awesome, which is what I thought drugs and alcohol was at the time. So she kept begging me to come with her, come to church with me, come to church with me, come to church with me. For months I was like, no, I'm not going there. Like, I don't belong there. I'm not a church girl. I didn't like anything that church people did. I thought they were all like people that wore like turtlenecks and sang Kumbaya around their guitar. Like, I did not know anything about it, and I didn't want to know anything about it. I completely rejected the idea of going to church, and for months I didn't go, and I still begged her on the weekends to come get drunk with me, and she continued to say no and continued to invite me to church. And looking back, that was the greatest act of friendship that I could have ever asked for. And without this person, I would be nowhere today, and I owe it all to her. Well, to God for putting her in my life. But I finally caved. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna like this, but I'll go, so you'll stop asking me. And I walked into a room of about 100 other high school students, and I watched them sing songs that I didn't like, that I had heard on the Christian radio station before I told my mom to change it. I heard them just praising and raising their hands, and I just saw things that I had never seen before, and I literally thought it was a cult. Like, I was just like, this is weird. But after listening to the pastor talk, I wasn't ready to give up on it, and I kind of just, something in my mind was just like, just keep going, just make her happy, you know, and just see what it's about, you know. Like, there's obviously a reason why these students are acting this way, and it kind of just intrigued me. I was just like, what do these people feel? Like, what are they talking about? Like, who are they talking to, you know? And I just didn't understand, but it made me want to understand, because I couldn't stand the thought of me just not understanding something. And so I went back the next week, and it kind of like appealed to me a little bit more, but I mean, I was still kind of weirded out, people raising their hands and stuff. It was kind of a little creepy, but I decided to go a third time. It's now March, it's March 10th of 2010, and I walk into the same church and I see people doing the same things, but things had just kind of shifted. It's hard to explain, obviously. I can't tell you exactly how it changed for me, but things just changed. Towards the end of the service, the pastor just started talking, and I was just sitting there, and my heart was completely open. He started talking about that he knew that there were people in the room that didn't know God, and that there were people in the room that were hurting, and that felt empty, and that they saw what was being done to others around them, and that they desperately wanted what they were seeing. And I knew in my heart that he was talking to me, and he didn't have to look at me or anything, but I knew that he was talking about me, and everything that he was saying I was relating to in so many ways. And